What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. Y'all over there finger popping each other's assholes. That's how I felt this weekend because the Browns had a game they could have won, and they didn't. And I got
to see the golden child.
I did. We're going to talk a lot about the Browns today. But man, tough week. We had a very middling week in terms of our plays. I mean, anytime you go positive, you're not upset, but we didn't improve on the winning percentage at all. I think we probably both went down a little bit as well. But my man, Evo, welcome in, brother. You had an interesting weekend of football as well. How you feeling?
Yeah, interesting way is one way to put it. Yeah, it was tough Vikings game for me. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the show. I felt again like we beat ourselves, and that's probably one of those arguments that people hate to hear, especially if you're a fan of the other team. Give them credit, and obviously credit to the Bears. They did get the win, but yeah, tough week there. The heads continue to spin in Minnesota Vikings fandom. A bad week for me in fantasy football, and then like you said, as far as our actual gambling for the week, it was a rougher one, not terrible because we did say positive technically, but we both didn't make too much of a movement on the year for getting up to our goals. We are still in the positive, doing good there though, overall for the betting. So happy to be here. Sad that it's a full week of work for me. It's a Tuesday, but it feels like this is going on forever. Fucking sucks. Bring the government shutdown back. You know what? Fuck it. Bring the government shutdown back. Let's fuck,
paycheck now? Is that why you're like, fucking bring the government shutdown back?
Yeah, I got paid. It didn't feel
There
like enough, but I did get paid. I get paid again next week. So shut the government down next week. How about that?
I mean, we're going to have a couple of days off for the government, I believe, next week with Thanksgiving, right? Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. A nice little 3-day week next week and a 4-day weekend. That'll be pretty nice. And then, shortly after, we're moving into the real big holidays, Christmas and everything. But the NFL season, which is a holiday in and of itself, is still going on. We completed week 11. We're going to be going over that tonight. Before we get into it too far, though, we do have to pay the bills. So, the segment, sponsorship or cease and desist. So for today, for our degenerates that watch our show, this episode of Raw Dog Sports is brought to you by Adam and Eve, the only online sex toy store bold enough and raw enough to sponsor this filthy podcast. Look, if your bedroom routine has gotten about as exciting as a DMV line or the Raiders offense, it's time to upgrade. And Adam and Eve has everything that you need to turn your meh nights into, oh my God, my legs don't fucking work anymore. I'm talking about vibrators that sound like a Harley Davidson, dildos with more horsepower than your first car, ropes strong enough to convince that your neighbors that you're training to be a Cirque du Soleil dropout, and rubber buttholes so tight that you'll question whether or not they're stronger than Mike McDaniel's coke addiction. Are you into kinks? Don't worry. They've got you covered like a leather-clad dominatrix with a mortgage to pay for. Whether you're into spanking, choking, light bondage, heavy bondage, mid-2000s CIA torture bondage, they've got toys for more kinks than a garden hose left out in July. Do you need a butt plug the size of your regrets? Boom, they've got it. Need lingerie that makes you look like you just escaped from a very stylish cult? They've got it. You need a safe word generator because your partner doesn't understand it when you try to say, they've got that too. It's literally a button that screams stop in 14 different languages. So make sure you head over to adamandeve.com for their big Black Friday sale, because nothing says self-love like saving money or buying something that will gape all of your holes out, make you nut like Cytheria. We know you know who that is, you pervert, and leave you feeling ashamed and embarrassed, just like when you watch your favorite NFL franchise. So go to adameve.com and stuff your cart fuller than, well, you know, Adam and Eve. If it buzzes, thrusts, vibrates, wiggles, restrains, slaps, pinches, or mildly threatens your life, they sell it. Now, they are not an official sponsor, but if Adam and Eve wants to sponsor Raw Dog Sports, by all means, we're here for you. We're into that sort of stuff, if you know what we mean. Especially if you watched last week's episode where I ran through 15 positions, we'll say, and it was an enjoyable thing, which actually kind of made me get completely sidetracked during the show because I couldn't stop thinking about new positions.
All of the things that you were enjoying. By the way, that video was seen by basically nobody because TikTok absolutely throttled it.
Yeah, but it was fun. You know, that's what we're here for.
It is what we're here for. We're here to have a good time. It's not a long time, but it's going to be a good time. Oh, my man.
Yeah. Keep it raw, baby. Raw authenticity. It's part of the brand.
I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna leave producer Amber alone with all the raw talk. Anyways, are we ready to start diving into some of the football that happened over the last week? Because we got a lot of games to recap. There was actually 15 games in this one, damn near a full slate. So we got quite a few to get to. You ready, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's peel these panties aside. Look at what we got for week 11 here. We both went 8-7, which was positive on the week, but you either had to go positive or negative. There was no in between, no going even unless we pushed on any of these games, which we did not. Obviously, we had our Thursday night game. New England won that one. We've already discussed that pretty much in depth. But then we had a full slate of games, a couple weird ones. We had ourselves a really bad chunk there, starting with Atlanta. I know you have thoughts there. All the way through Tampa Bay, which was kind of a barn burner. But yeah, overall, look, these are what we want our bad weeks to be, where we still maintain positive, but we would obviously like to do better for you. So if you guys followed us or faded us, let us know how we helped you or hurt you in your gambling prospects over week 11. But with that, you want to get into each and every one of these games, Mike?
Yeah, brother, I am absolutely ready. I got to tell you, one of my favorite stories is when that dude came up to you at the bar and said that we helped him make fucking $500.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wait, are you sure that you know me? He's like, yeah, you're on a sticker in the bathroom here. And I was like, yeah, Stan's Glory Holes. No, it was our previous podcast named the Lyman Lounge sticker that was up on a mirror inside one of the local bars here. And apparently we helped some people out. So that was pretty awesome. I was excited about that. And obviously we want to make all the people the money, all the money that we can.
Yeah. But we do own it when we are wrong. So we're going to go through, we're going to recap some of these games. We're going to talk about how and why we were wrong. I'm very excited to get to that Atlanta game, by the way. But my man, are we ready to take this thing away?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be going off of ESPN's little list here for week 11. We are starting off with our game that was out in Madrid. That is the Commanders and the Dolphins. A real low score there, but the Dolphins were able to eke out a win 16-13 versus this Commanders squad that is just injured and old. And it looks like this season is pretty close to being over, even though Jaden Daniels hasn't been ruled out for the year. But the Dolphins, another win. And it seems like they might start to rip off a couple more wins in a row here based off of their schedule. I don't know, but this might save Mike McDaniel's career.
Oh, I don't know about all that. So listen, I was at the Browns game, so I did not get to watch all of these games in their full versions. So I don't know what storylines are being told. All I got is the condensed versions of these games. So if they were talking about this potentially help save his career, that's insane to me.
This game in particular, not necessarily, but
yeah, they barely beat this Commanders team that is just destroyed with injuries.
Yeah. But I mean, the Dolphins, they won one versus the Bills. They've got a couple easier ones coming up. It's theoretical that, you know, my original prediction for worst team in the NFL, who is now sitting at 4-7, might rip off another 2, 3, 4 wins. Like they could get themselves to a easily a 6-win record here. That's something that might be enough with how bad the season started off and how bad this roster has been constructed. That maybe Stephen Ross down there in Miami is like, our little coke-headed Grinch boy isn't the problem. He does whip up some offenses. It's just
saw
bad.
a report that they talked about wanting to keep him.
Yeah, it's a potential.
Is that real or is that fucking AI getting me?
I don't know. I've seen the same thing. I think that it's probably still on the table. No owner is going to come out and say like, yeah, we are getting rid of him at the end of the year. We're just going to let this, drag out.
Well, you can't say that.
Yeah. So how much can you trust it? Probably not as far as you can throw it. Probably not as much as you can trust the names that are going to be on this Epstein list that we're going to get to see. But it's fucking out there. It's a possibility.
One side that shows up on it, so you'll know it won't be the truth.
We'll see. I just want to know the one guy who didn't vote for it. That's a true fucking supporter right there.
Yeah, that guy just blew his re-election chances for every election he will ever try to win again.
Yeah, but he might be filthy rich.
I mean, maybe.
He might be getting protected.
Maybe. It
Anyways.
at all. Let's go ahead with this game.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a ton for me to really talk about in this one. Obviously, the Dolphins get the win here, but it wasn't like a resounding win or anything like that. Tua goes without a passing touchdown, which is pretty abnormal for him. But it was a good day from Devin Ashane, and that's kind of about it. That's the story of this game. Two bad teams.
Kind of boring. A lot of punts. I watched a lot of punts on the condensed game. Yeah. So I don't have much else to say either.
All righty. Well, we'll move on to our next one, which I know you do want to talk about. The Panthers at the Falcons. Last time the Panthers got one good on this Falcons team, 30-0. And I didn't see any way that was going to happen again. And it looked like it was going well for the Falcons. They weren't pitching a shutout or anything like that, but they're winning pretty handily, 21-10 at halftime. And then things started to fall apart. And then Michael Penix's knee blew out again, essentially. No confirmation on this, just a knee injury. Same knee that was injured earlier this year. But I have seen some reports of they believe it could be a partial ACL tear, which would be the 5th time that he has had a season-ending injury in his collegiate and professional career, which is wild. Kirk Cousins comes in, was not able to make things happen and get it done. Big day for Bijan Robinson. They did stick to that script of the ground game, but man, Panthers came storming back, got the win 30-27 in this one.
The defense for the Falcons should be ashamed of themselves for what they let happen in this game. The second half was Bryce Young just dissecting this fucking secondary. It was insane.
Bryce Young looked like a professional NFL quarterback for at least part of this game, and he definitely put up a professional NFL quarterback stat line: 31-45, 448 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad day.
No, he looked great. I don't think that's the real Bryce Young. I think he ran into bad Falcons. Because listen, bad Falcons have been showing up more and more often. I'm waiting for good Falcons. I picked good Falcons to come back around, and they fucked us this week.
It's not just more and more. This is 5 weeks in a row of bad Falcons. Yeah. 5 straight losses for this Falcons team, which at the beginning of the year, you're like, this defense actually looks like they got better. Things are starting to kind of click. And then they just got completely derailed. And now 5 losses in a row. That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. Their season is effectively over. I don't think they can get a wild card. I mean, it's not technically over yet, but they would need to win out and get help. And that's just not fucking happening.
Yeah. Not only that, but Drake London also. Drake London goes down. I'm unsure of. I don't think he's going to be looked at as a starter this week because of the injury, but I'm not sure as far as how bad it is. But like, you lose your top receiving threat, you lose your young starting quarterback. They're going to have the run game to lean on. It's good for me in fantasy because I got Bijan, but it's bad for this Falcons team. And if that defense looks like it can be kind of worked over the way that the Panthers were able to put up another 30 points on this team, it's a tough spot for the Falcons to be in.
I'd just like to add one thing. I told you this before the show. I'd like to reiterate it here so we can clip this and send it to the Falcons fans. The Atlanta Falcons fucking suck. They are not a good football team. All the fans can kiss my ass. I cannot wait to go back and find that video.
Yeah, look, they had a couple good weeks early in the year, but obviously things have really derailed now, and it seems like kind of one of those insurmountable holes to get out of. Next up, though, we had the Buccaneers going into Buffalo versus the Bills, and this one was a wild one. A shitload of lead changes, a lot of scoring, and the Bills come out on top at home, 44-32. Big day for Tucker, running back from the Buccaneers. There was a lot of hype about him when Bucky Irving was said to not be playing because he's the more explosive of the two backs down there in Tampa, and we know the Bills have a really porous run defense, and he made the most of every touch that he had. We also saw a huge day from Josh Allen, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns on their way to getting this big-time score and big-time win versus this Bucs team. Bucs got to get healthy as soon as possible, man. They're going to need Bucky Irving back as soon as possible because they're on a little bit of a skid right now coming out of that bye, and they look like they can be, and I think that they can be one of the best teams in the NFC. They are just hurt right now.
I think it's their defense. It's really what's hampering them. They are making the running game work. They're making the offense work. What the problem is they're giving up a lot of fucking points. I mean, Josh Allen's incredible, but 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns, that's on the defense. That's not on, Bucky Irving being out. Josh Allen's incredible, though. He's fucking incredible. I know my brother-in-law is a big fan of the Bills. He is probably the most exciting guy. I think he's probably the most exciting guy right now. Lamar has been up and down this season. Now, obviously, Lamar is explosive, can do anything at any time. But we'll talk about Lamar in the Browns game, but he has not been nearly as aggressive with getting out of the pocket, pushing the ball down the field. He seemed kind of neutered. Josh Allen's letting this fucking thing rip, though. Doesn't matter what's happening, who's getting where, he's getting his, whether he's throwing it or he's fucking running it. And sure, he'll turn it over maybe once or twice.
Yeah. But I don't know what the exact similarity is or if it really works. But I mean, in basketball, we got double doubles, triple doubles. Josh Allen effectively put up a triple in this one, over 300 yards, 317 passing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns. Yeah, there were 2 interceptions in there as well, but we'll put those aside because when you have that sort of a performance and you're slinging it around,
you get a fucking triple double and have 6 turnovers.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive game from him. Not so much from Baker, only 173 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and again, a huge day from Sean Tucker. 106 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns, and then another 34 and a touchdown through the air. Good day for him. Emeka Egbuka was held to very little, only 40 yards receiving. And so they need to try to establish a better running game. But I mean, they had one in this game. They had one from Sean Tucker. So it's a tough spot. They need a good bounce back here for the Bucs to try to get the season back on track.
We'll see how quickly they get healthy, man. That's gonna be the big problem. But all right, heading into the next game. This was another just shit game. Texans gets a win 16-13 against the Titans. And honestly, this was another boring ass game. Another game with a lot of punts. Davis Mills played okay again. So they got a win. The defense of the Texans is what's going to win them games. But without CJ Stroud, they're not impressing anybody.
Yeah.
And honestly, even with CJ Stroud, that offense is not impressing anybody because of how bad their offensive line is. They get a win against the Titans because the Titans are terrible.
Yeah, I feel like the normal setup for a team like this is really good defense with a strong slugging run game, but you need at least one facet of that offense to be pretty substantial to kind of keep you in the game. Now, we did see a good stat line from like Nico Collins, and it wasn't a bad day for Davis Mills by any means, but it's really not as consistent and explosive as you would hope from a pass game. And so it is not a winning formula. Now we are going to get to this Houston game here in a little bit because they're going to be playing Thursday night. But you have CJ Stroud back at practice. However, he will not be playing Thursday. He still has not completely cleared concussion protocol, so we are going to be seeing another week of Davis Mills out there. And yeah, this Titans team bad, 1-9 at this point. Real low scoring, real boring game. But if you're the Texans, you're happy to walk out of that one with a win and keep your season at 5-5.
I mean, you maybe see a little bit of progression in what Cam Ward was able to do. And there's just not enough talent there right now. So it's going to be hard to evaluate him. He's going to be the guy next year. We'll see who the fuck the coach is. That's what's going to really determine Cam Ward's future. Is going to be what quarterback coach, because it's got to be an offensive guy, you'd think, that's going to go in there with Cam Ward in Tennessee. So that's really the telltale. There's not a lot to talk about with the Titans at this point other than where they're going to be drafting, who's going to be their coach next year.
Yeah, it is all about the future for the Titans and looking forward to that. They are deep in mock draft season right now. Next up, my team about to be potentially looking at mock draft season here very shortly. We drop one to the Bears at home, 19-17. Like I kind of prefaced earlier in the show, I feel like, again, we beat ourselves. But this is one that I'm probably going to be most punitive towards J.J. McCarthy in, because it was his worst game that I've seen him play. Pretty inaccurate from the get-go. I don't know if the hand injury had a whole lot to do that, but I do know that you could actually watch the mechanics break down from him. In addition to that, he also had between 5 and 7. See, I didn't do the 6-7, but fuck, I just did. But he had a lot of drops again from his top end receivers: Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. I saw one from Aaron Jones. It was a bad day for drops. He threw some good passes. He also threw some wildly inaccurate passes. And it's difficult for me. Like, I can't put this one on the coaching staff. They actually called up good plays. They actually had guys getting open. He was just not accurate with the ball. Defense held up pretty well. And then it just came down to that last drive for the Vikings. And it seemed like everything clicked. They ran the ball well all day, and they ran the ball well in that drive. JJ passed the ball well, was able to drive them all the way down the field and get a touchdown to take the lead. And of course, we allow a 56-yard kickoff return that puts the Bears right back into field goal position, and there was nothing that we could do from there. They get the field goal, get the dub. Again, congratulations to the Bears. They are currently the leaders in the NFC North, which is the drunk division this year, at 7-3. I don't know how much longer they're going to be holding that position in first, because they've got a game this upcoming week versus the Steelers, I believe, and then it just gets more and more difficult the rest of the year for them. And they have been skirting by with these late game winning,
I can't wait
drives.
The line on the Steelers Bears game.
It'll be interesting.
They're both neither convincing of their records.
Yeah. Now, this is one thing I'm assuming you probably didn't watch too much of this game, but if, for me, who did absolutely watch it, and I was trying to assess everything both from my team and this Bears team, because they are obviously in the lead of the NFC right now. I was doing a pretty dramatic comparison of Caleb Williams versus J.J. McCarthy, because they both come from the same class, and they're going to carry comparisons basically throughout their career, probably because they were in that same class. Both of them, 16 of 32. Both of them, less than 200 yards passing. Caleb had 193 with an average of 6 yards, and J.J. McCarthy had 150 yards, 4.7 yard average. Except for J.J. McCarthy had one passing touchdown and 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams had no touchdowns, no interceptions. But he just looked dramatically better because he didn't have wildly inaccurate throws. He had some overthrows for sure, but it just... JJ doesn't look like he is rattled necessarily. And this game, I don't even know that he necessarily looked like he was amped up. He was just sailing shit. And I do think it comes down to mechanics with him. It is concerning for sure. I still have faith in him. I hate that the fact that we have a fan base right now that is like 5 games in. We need to get rid of JJ McCarthy. We need to go out there. And I saw one thing today from an actual major sports media company saying that the Vikings should trade JJ McCarthy, a first round pick, and another pick for Daniel Jones on a tag and trade. And I was like,
Well,
look,
the fucking
the
Colts would
Colts,
never do that.
yeah, Colts aren't doing that, but I don't think the Vikings should either. We're talking about 5 games in. We can find just as many games for guys who are going to be future Pro Bowlers where their first 5 games were terrible as we can for guys who were out of the league in a couple years who had a terrible first 5 games. We can pick and choose stats however we want to. I just know that for the most part, unless you're a Jaden McDaniels, you're probably going to have a pedestrian first 5 games to a bad first 5 games. I've seen some of the stuff click there for JJ, and then I've also seen it go terribly wrong. And I want to give the kid time. But it is a difficult thing to watch, that sort of football where the rest of the team is generally performing well, except for the receivers, again, dropping balls, and then to see JJ kind of struggling otherwise. That's tough. I still have faith. I'm not out on him. Vikings fans, I don't think you should be either. It's fine to have criticism. I'm obviously critical of how he's playing right now.
Yeah.
But we need to get off the whole, like, we need to move on from him now. Though I will say the one X thread that's going around there today of the Vikings need to cut JJ McCarthy and they need to immediately re-sign him so Kevin O'Connell can make a reclamation project out of him again. That is funny. It would be funny.
Producer Amber brought that to my attention as well, and it is fucking hilarious. It makes sense, but also that would never work.
No, we're not going to screw ourselves on the contract right off the rip.
Yeah, no. Man, listen, I remember saying that one of my main concerns with JJ McCarthy was that his ball placement was bad. And I'm not sure that's gotten any better. But I don't know that it's ball placement that you're worried about right now. I think it's just overall accuracy. Because like you're saying, he's fucking sailing balls.
Yeah, it's been talked about quite a bit.
Overthrows over the middle are picks.
Yeah, it's been talked about quite a bit through the film breakdowns and even Kevin O'Connell in his press conferences. His lower body mechanics, apparently this last week of practice, by the way, according to Kevin O'Connell, said it's one of his best weeks of practice that he's had, if not his best. However, in the game, his lower body mechanics that they've been training just kind of go away. And you see it where his hips go wide and he flails a leg out as he's throwing, and he's not getting that good transfer from the ground.
Bad balance, bad platform.
Yeah. And look, we've seen guys with bad mechanics get the mechanics fixed and turn out awesome. Josh Allen is the easy one to go to. You look at his throwing motion and mechanics through his first 2 years, and they are crazy. And then by that third year, things started to click. He's obviously had a weird path to get to where he is right now as a starter because of all the injuries. And I want to give him grace for that. But also, like, I need to see through these next 7 weeks some steady progression, some steady fixes of things for me to feel confident going into next year.
Well, I think it would do him a lot of good is just take the fucking easy ones.
Yeah.
Take the fucking easy ones, JJ. Your completion percentage will go up. Get the ball into the playmaker's hands fucking faster.
Yeah, this was his shortest time to throw of any game, and he did go more to some of the checkdowns in this game for sure. It was just I do think that it is primarily a lower body mechanic thing, which those are fixable.
Yeah, they are fixable. He's got to stay healthy to make sure he gets the play so he can figure out where he's failing so he can make those fucking corrections. Yeah. He has not played a lot of football. So that has put him behind all of his draft mates.
Yeah. Like I said, 5 starts in, and I don't really want to make a determination until we're around 25 starts. So we're a fifth of the way there. And yeah, it hasn't been good so far.
Not great. All right, brother. The next game, I got Packers Giants. You got the same?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So Packers going to win 27-20 over the Giants. Jameis Winston did bring good vibes, but also Jameis brings chaos as well. Ends the game with a pick. Tough pick too. I was like, oh no, Jameis, why? Come on. I feel like it happens all the time that I'm saying, oh no, Jameis.
Look,
Come on.
I did pay pretty close attention to this one. I had it on the multi-screen in addition to my game. I'll say this. I didn't think Jordan Love looked good.
No, but
Malik Willis going in there, while he only threw 2 passes, it just felt like the offense went better. 2 passes, and one of them was for a touchdown. On the other side, though, Jameis Winston did look okay, but he did have the 1 interception to end the game, and I think I counted at least 3 dropped interceptions. So the context to this is, while his stat line doesn't look ungodly terrible, it could have been really bad. So
it's Jameis, man. That's every Jameis Winston game. He can go for fucking 450 yards, 4 tuds, 4 picks.
Yeah, but a nice game from Tyrone Tracy. He was able to get 88 yards on the ground, and some more through the air. But yeah, they're hoping Jackson Dart comes back pretty soon, I'm sure. Like, you don't feel terrible about James going in there. And at the end of the day, you go and you only lose by 7 points. It's not a terrible loss for the Giants when you are down all of these players. You feel like your season is generally lost. You've already fired your head coach. Not bad. And it was enough for me to get the cover on it. So I'm happy about that.
And the offense looked better than it did with fucking Russell Wilson. Like, without a doubt.
Yeah. That was a given.
Yeah, so they should stick with what they got with Jameis. You'll hope that Dart comes back. I want to ask you though, football, non-football question. Have you seen Scatterbo at I believe it was a WWE event?
Yeah, he was right there next to God, who's the comedian? I can't think of his name. But yeah,
and I'm not
Andrew
sure if I'm being
Santino.
racist because he's Italian or
he's Italian. I can't think of the name though.
What the fuck is his name? I don't
know. Not even over there, but I did see that. It's good to see him out there in the community. Also,
one of the fucking linemen came back behind him and threw one of those fucking wrestlers.
Well, wrestling's
fake,
right?
Not
fake. I don't know. But I do have a Cam Scatterbo question for you.
Yes.
When you eat a taco, do you turn the taco, or do you turn your head to eat the taco?
I think it's a little bit of both. You're kind of finding that nice groove where the shit won't fall out, but I don't have to cock my head so far fucking sideways to look like a dumbass.
Well, Cam Scatterbo's been doing a little bit of video game streaming out there, and this is one of the questions that he asked on his stream to find out who is dominant in the relationship between human and taco. So if you turn your head for the taco, you're that taco's bitch. So just keep that in mind. These are the hard-hitting things on Raw Dog Sports, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, I gave you 15 sexual positions. This week, we're talking about who's being dominated by a taco. Please, by all means, take some time, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Again, we are trying to make a big push as much as we can on TikTok, so find us on there. Follow us. Send us some friends. Obviously, we have a good time. We keep it real with our raw authenticity. So please give us a little bit of support. Thank you for that. And let us know how you eat your taco. I usually like to eat my taco with its legs over top of my shoulders. But that's about it for that Packers-Giants game, I think. Look, I'll say this about the Packers, and it's not just because I'm a hater, but they look gettable by any team that plays them. So not so much the playoff juggernaut that we thought we saw in week 1.
No, not even close. Jordan Love is their quarterback, so they're not going to blow anybody out. And I also crazy to just find out that apparently I'm switched for tacos. So
it's you give back and forth.
Listen, a taco can do some dirty things to me.
Yeah. It is Taco Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
Shit, I thought we were going to get off this, but maybe you should order up some tacos right now and be dominated. Dominate your stomach. Taco Bell. Next
No,
sponsor.
no. Taco Bell could be the next sponsor.
Could be
Should
the
be
next
a sponsor.
Alrighty. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going into Pittsburgh versus the Steelers. Steelers get the win here, 34-12. A bad day for Joe Flacco. Probably his first bad day there with the Bengals. We had a little riffraff happening at the end. Jamar Chase maybe didn't do a hawk Tua, got Jalen Ramsey kicked out. I saw what looked to be a wad of some sort flying from the mouthicles to Ramsey. That is being appealed right now. And for the love of God, Jordy Nelson, I hate you. But also consider not suspending Jamar Chase for a full game because I would like to play him in fantasy league this week. But at the end of the day, the Steelers do get the win. We got to see a little bit of Mason Rudolph action, which was pretty fun because Aaron Rodgers.
A little bit of Mason Rudolph. I think it was a lot of it of Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, it was enough to get the dub. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers has a broken wrist. Not enough that he has to have surgery. Right now, they're looking at potentially wearing a protective brace on that left non-throwing hand wrist. But for me, and I'm sure for you, because you would like their season to be done, I say you throw Will Howard out there. See what you got in the kid.
I mean, you could do that. I don't think they will do that. Mason Rudolph made the offense look better than Aaron Rodgers did. So why would they rush Aaron Rodgers back? They'd be like, hey, Mason, maybe go ahead and start some of these games and maybe win a couple because
we talked about a doomsday clock, Mike. We talked about a doomsday clock, and this all factors in. If they don't play Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. Let Mason Rudolph play a game, look good, win a game, and then let there be a fucking controversy that builds in that quarterback room, and Aaron Rodgers will detonate the fucking bomb.
I mean, that could work. I think there's multiple paths to implosion here because you play Aaron Rodgers, the center is going to snap the ball how the center should snap the ball. It's going to hurt Aaron's fucking feelings and his wrist. He's going to like fumble it or something like that. And then he's going to start cussing everyone else out because that happened to him. And it's no one's fault.
I think this is you wanting this version to happen so you can call him a little bitch.
Well, look, Aaron Rodgers is a little bitch. I got no problem saying it no matter what. I know it. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. Aaron Rodgers is a bitch and probably on the Epstein list. But I don't care how it happens. I would just like to see the train wreck continue to happen. Normally a train falls off the trail or the rails and explosions happen and stuff like that. And somehow this thing just keeps rolling down a perpetual hill of bullshit. And it's great. But for this sake, I would love to just see how they want to get the drama to play out. I like your idea of Mason Rudolph going out there, starting, having a good game, and then Aaron Rodgers, has some sort of quarterback controversy. But also, Mike Tomlin knows that if he doesn't put Aaron Rodgers out there, Aaron Rodgers is going to create controversy. Yes, and so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't in this situation.
Yeah. Sucks for Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco looked like he got beat the fuck up in this game. I thought he would maybe have a little bit more of that magic, but the Steelers defense showed up. They've been playing well. Some young additions to that secondary have helped. And you know what? They keep finding ways to win. Mike Tomlin's teams always find ways to win, man. Like the Bengals are bad, so of course they gave up 34 fucking points. But apparently
didn't have the magic from last time.
No, not even close. There are still people that are saying that TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I saw your Twitter post. And while there's no argument that TJ Watt has more forced fumbles, I think if we only focused on one stat, we would think very differently about a lot of people.
Yeah, very much so. So I can't. TJ Watt, very good player. Respect him as a player, but also fuck TJ Watt and fuck the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is not better than Myles Garrett, with or without the homerisms that are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah,
you can ask any fucking buddy with eyes who has knowledge of the game. They're like, Myles Garrett is a better fucking player than TJ Watt.
The statements made on your specific post that you retweeted are very obviously intentionally inflammatory in order to get a response, which is great. That is exactly how you start to build up a following. So I get it from that respect, because it's just got enough of a hint of truth by throwing in one stat to that you can be like, no, I'm not wrong because I have a statistical backing to it. I'm going to ignore the rest of fucking everything that's going on, but we'll run with this one little bit. All right, you ready to move on to our next one?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, we have the Chargers going out to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville absolutely dominated this Chargers team 35-6. A terrible, terrible day for the Chargers. Nothing went right at all. Everything went right for this Jags team. A good day from Trevor Lawrence, 14 of 22, 153 yards, a touchdown and interception, just enough to not bury his team. But we did have a decent running day from Bashal Tutin, and Travis Etienne showed up again with another 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. We got to see early season Travis Etienne. Now, it feels like whenever I start to talk shit about someone, except for Aaron Rodgers because he just sucks balls all the time, I talked a little bit of shit about Travis Etienne last show, saying he hasn't been the same guy since the first couple weeks. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to show fucking this fat bitch Evo what's up. And he goes and rattles off a fantastic game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the Jags just absolutely beating the piss out of the Chargers. That was not on my bingo card. Sure, the Jags could have won. I didn't see that happening. We both missed this game by a fucking long shot. Everything that could have gone wrong for the Chargers kind of went wrong on the offensive side. They couldn't generate any consistent offense. Like, the stats look fine, but the drives would go and they were not ever long drives. It was a terrible, terrible offensive day. That's all you can really say. And then when you can't sustain drives, your defense is out there for an eternity, and they're going to give up 35 points. I don't know what else you want. Justin Herbert's got to be better.
Yeah, I don't disagree, except for you are put in a bad spot. You are missing your top 2 offensive tackles. Yeah, we know every team has injuries, but these are, permanent for this year type of injuries. You're down your main running back. You're down your other main running back. Yeah, you do have a complement of receiving weapons, but you are able to kind of focus this offense into being a lot more one-dimensional. And if you start to get a little bit ahead on them, force them into a spot where they're even more one-faceted on offense, it can be a pretty rough spot, which is where I think that they are. Look, this Chargers team started off the year hot. They looked really good. I felt like they're a playoff team. And right now, they're 7-4. They're still a playoff team. But this team, because of these injuries, I don't think is built for a long run in the playoffs at this point. Obviously, they're trending in the right direction. I think Harbaugh's done a fantastic job with this team. But I think we could see a lot more of what we saw in this Jaguars game going forward if they don't find some way to somehow pivot and make this kind of ramshamble offensive line work.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that I'm not crazy here, and I'm calculating this right. Total passes plus total rushes equals total offensive plays, right?
I believe so.
Would make sense without penalties, right? Well, yeah. The Chargers only ran fucking 42 offensive plays to the 69 that the Jags.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
you hold the ball that long.
Average NFL offenses. The average NFL offenses, I believe, are right around that 60 to 65 play mark in a game. So, yeah, it was pretty bad. They obviously weren't able to sustain stuff there for that Chargers team.
Yeah, man. Well, they got to figure something out because they have a very good team. They can't let this thing slide off because of the tackles. They're going to have to find a way to help those guys out. Chip more. I mean, I know that Gadsden is not an inline tight end, but he can chip before he gets out. They're going to have to find ways to protect.
Yeah, they do have guys like Tyler Conklin, who is a little bit more of a larger tight end, still primarily receiving tight end, but he can chip a little bit more. even if you're having to put extra offensive linemen out there playing in heavy packages as a tight end, like you got to do something a little bit better. I think Matlock as the big fullback for him. They've got some options, and I trust that team. They're going to play competitive football for the rest of the year. And I do think that they can be and probably should be a playoff team this year. I just don't know, again, like they're going to have sustained success in the playoffs because, everyone's going to kind of know the recipe to beat them.
Yeah, for sure. Ready for the next one, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. One of the more interesting games of the day with a lot of takes coming out of this game.
Yeah.
Seahawks lose the tough one to the Rams, 19-21. Sam Darnold has a very bad Sam Darnold of old game. 4 interceptions. Was he seeing ghosts? Are the Rams just super good? Because there's a lot of people who are like, man, Sam Darnold's awesome. Now Sam Darnold sucks. Listen, I'm going to tell you where I'm at right now. I think Sam Darnold had a fucking terrible game against a really good Rams team. I have watched him now, and I have been thinking, man, there's no way he turned it around, but he has. Like, he knows how to play football. I have watched it all throughout the season. I watched it last year. He had those hiccups. Every guy has hiccups. He's not perfect. Pat Mahomes has fucking hiccups. Had a big one this week. So this is a terrible game. It doesn't mean he's a shit quarterback. I think he has turned over a new leaf, kind of that like Daniel Jones has as well. And he just got this week. Sucks because without his mistakes, they should win this game.
Yeah, look, you bring up turning over a new leaf, and that's kind of one of the tropes that's going on out there right now is that the leaves are changing color. It's November, and Sam Darnold has turned into a pumpkin. I don't think that. Of course, Sam Darnold is kind of a volume passer. That is going to lead to interceptions. No passer out there is going to be able to throw as many touchdowns and as prolifically as Sam Darnold can and does without incurring these interceptions. There might be something about this Rams team specifically, though, or playing in LA that he has an issue with, because we saw this with the Vikings last year. He had trouble versus LA. He had trouble, when we played them in the playoffs, as well as the regular season. Maybe it's just an LA thing, or this defense has his number. I don't know, but this is one very bad game out of otherwise a very good year and a half of Sam Darnold that tells me that he has turned over that leaf, that he has shown that he is a good quarterback. He's been rehabilitated. Same thing from Daniel Jones, like you brought up. We saw a bad game from him this year, and then he's played good otherwise. Quarterbacks are allowed to have a bad day. We don't want to see it, but it happens. And so I wouldn't say like people should be out on Sam Darnold, especially like this is the funny one with the Vikings fans is that the trope going around is one of the Vikings' biggest mistakes that they've ever made in franchise history is letting Sam Darnold leave the building. Well, then you point to this game and say, well, what the fuck? This is who you want over JJ McCarthy? Yeah, JJ threw 2 picks, but this guy threw 4. Like, it was a bad day. But the thing about the Seattle team and why I think that they're so good is that they were able to hang in there with this Rams team. Their defense kept them in it, down to the point that they were kicking a last-second field goal to try to win the game. They did not convert it and did not get the win. But this was a good divisional matchup. We saw a bad Sam Darnold out there, but we're going to get to see him go up against this Rams team one more time this year. It's going to be very interesting to watch and see how that goes. All props go to the Rams, though, for getting the win in this one. Another decent day from Stafford. He didn't have to do a ton through the air. Yeah, 2 touchdowns, but it was another big day from Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams got 91 yards rushing and another 5 yards through the air, but it felt a lot closer to like him having 150 to 200 yards. Like that's how big his impact felt in this game. This was a close one. It was a dueling grudge match here. And if it wasn't for all those turnovers from Seattle, I think we'd be talking about a very different game.
Yeah. I had Seattle on the money line. I wish that I had taken them plus the points, but I did not. I really thought that they should have won this game without that many turnovers. And I feel like, they probably do win this game. So the rematch of this game is going to be really fun. I don't know do we know what week that is scheduled for?
I can find out here real quick. Week 16.
Okay. Is it a late game? It's gotta be. It's gotta be on
Yeah, it's a Thursday night game.
West Coast. God, I suck at the East and West Coast.
December 18th, Thursday night game.
Ooh, that's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, in Seattle.
That is going to be a fun game. All right.
Mark it on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. All right, next up, we have the 49ers versus the Cardinals. Cardinals get their dicks smashed in, but we did see a record in this one. Jacoby Brissett, most completions in an NFL game. 47 and 57, I believe, was the official stat line there. But once again, this Cardinals defense, which had looked good at points this year, gives up over 40 points in a game. Their offense is only able to put up 22. The same thing happened last week. Seahawks put up 44 on them, and the offense was able to score 22. Now, that was a little bit of a different script. The 49ers in this one just kind of kept on scoring. Brock Purdy being back was a great thing for this 49ers team, and this Cardinals team just kind of looks down and out. Props again to Jacoby Brissett, 47 to 57, 452 yards, 2 tuds. That's great volume for a backup quarterback. He also threw 2 interceptions though, which is again kind of what you would expect from a backup quarterback. But this Cardinals team looks completely neutered without any sort of a run game. It was really tough. I mean, you got nothing from that run game. 36 total rushing yards. A big day for Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. But this 49ers offense just looked absolutely dominant.
Yeah, the 49ers are very good at football. And Brock Purdy was exceptional. Like, he comes back, he shows why he's the guy.
That Kittle connection.
Yeah, the offense was way more explosive. Like, Mac Jones did good things. He made the offense work, but I felt like the field was a little bit more was just more stretched in this game. So the 49ers, I think, are a very good team. That division is fucking loaded with good teams. Those top 3 teams, they're all making the playoffs in my mind. 49ers,
yeah,
Rams, fucking Seahawks, they're all in.
Yeah, they do look like the class of the NFC right now for sure.
So that is going to be a dogfight to the end, man. I don't have much else to say. Jacoby, cool record, bro. I think it's awesome. Windsor, but at this point in his career, this is a really cool thing. Obviously, you want to win. We always want to win. But you're the backup quarterback on a 3-7 Cardinals team.
Yep. Well,
this is just enjoy that. Enjoy this.
Sure. Look, we don't have to hold off much longer here, though. For you do have something to talk about. It's the Ravens versus your Browns. Ravens do end up getting the win in this game, 23-16. Yeah. But there's a lot more to this game, and I'm sure you want to talk about it. So go ahead, take your moment.
All right. So this game was fucking incredible to be at. It started out so amazing. That defense is incredible. They're so good. Myles Garrett is playing at another level. He's like from another planet. Mason Graham has been exceptional. Him side by side with Myles Garrett has been a huge asset.
Big Schlesinger game.
Schlesinger is an all-pro. I mean, he's defensive rookie of the year right now. I don't know who else would even be in the conversation at this point. Obviously, I'm a little bit of a homer, but that kid is playing all-pro linebacker. He is fucking everywhere. We were sitting next to a couple of Ravens fans at the game, and even they were like, Jesus, that kid is fucking good. Like, he's all over the field. When Lamar broke the pocket, that's the guy who was there to make the stop. I mean, you meeting Derrick Henry in the hole. Boom, sticking him for nothing. That defense is a well-oiled machine. Dylan Gabriel,
Schlesinger, 11 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and an interception in this game.
Yeah, it was insane. Dylan Gabriel was playing all right. I don't know what caused the concussion, where or when it happened. If it happened on the one sack that he took.
I watched what looked to be the interception, and it looked like nothing. It looked like a normal tackle, and it looked like not like a significant impact to the ground or anything, which I was kind of like, man, are they just using this as an opportunity to pull the plug here?
Oh, we
and
were
look,
chanting, we want Shedeur inside the stadium as this was happening.
Yeah, look, yeah, he was 7 for 10, 68 yards, and 1 sack in that game before he ended up coming out and being replaced by King Shedeur. But I'll let you continue with your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, so Shedeur comes in, starts out great, move the pocket. Everybody in the stands was wrists up, very happy. Comes out, good completion to start, nice little out, move the pocket, great. Completes the next one, and then the Ravens were like, all right, fuck this. And they're like, blitz him. Just fucking blitz him. And guess what? It worked. He proceeded to go, I think the next, 10 straight that he fucking missed?
All I know is he was 4 for 16.
Yeah, so
47 yards.
It was bad. It was real bad there in the middle. Because they were blitzing the fuck out of him. Protections were not slid in the correct direction. I don't know if that's the center. I don't know if that's Shedeur coming in, how they handle that operation, especially with the change of quarterback. Jerry Jeudy kind of gave up on a route that Shedeur should never have thrown the ball in that direction because Jerry was running a comeback, it looks like, and they were sitting in fucking cover 4 and the corner just drove. Basically ran the route for him. So he never should have thrown that fucking ball there. Yeah, we should have got a veteran stopgap like Joe Flacco. We absolutely should have.
Now, Roberto Gussolini, they are getting one next year. Kyler Murray, it's already baked in the cake. It's happening. Mike wants him. He loves it. He won't stop talking about it.
I can't stand Kyler Murray. Please, God, no. Anyways.
Mac Jones.
Listen, there were a couple of throws that Shedeur made that were exceptional, though. The deep dig that he hit between the safeties and the fucking linebackers, that was the best throw that I've seen all year from a Browns quarterback. That was a fucking, that's something you could build off of. So I understand that Dylan had a statistically better game, 100%. It looked better than Shedeur did as well. But I have a question for you as outsider looking in. We have a guy in Dylan Gabriel who we have been told is a supercomputer. At least that's what Browns fans have been told. Is that this guy is super football smart, knows everything that you need to do, is super good at running the operation, but he lacks physical traits. How much is he going to grow compared to a guy who has much higher physical traits in basically every fucking category, from running to arm strength, accuracy, and it just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing yet? Which one of those has a higher projection?
I mean, you say the physical traits part. I'd like you to tell me what physical trait Dylan Gabriel has better than Shedeur Sanders, other than his ability to easily get in and out of crawl space doors.
That's the only nothing. He doesn't have a trait better that we have seen. Now, Shedeur did not play well. Everybody who's saying, well, he didn't get any first team reps. Well, no shit, he didn't get any first team reps. Doesn't mean he couldn't have played better. But I understand he didn't have any first team reps. So he kind of looked like shit. And that makes fucking sense. He was not prepared. He hasn't been prepared for that moment. And it sucks, but he's going to start this week. He's going to have all the practice reps. We're going to see what he can do with a week of practice. I love Shedeur. That is pretty much already been set in stone. Okay. He is projected to start this week. I can't wait to see how he looks with a full week of practice. I think he is going to show a lot better than he did in this game. And he's going up against a team that is not very good. So the he's not gonna face this vaunted defense. Not that the Ravens have a vaunted defense by any means.
It's gotten better, but
it has gotten better. But I think that he has traits that you can't get out of Dillon Gabriel. And if Dillon Gabriel is the supercomputer that we're being told that he is, I don't understand what fucking operating system it's running on. Windows 95? Because it's not super. Nothing about it is super. Nothing about him is super.
I feel like he's the guy that is NFL ready, but he doesn't have an NFL body.
Yeah,
which is a lot of what you're talking about.
Left-handed Hawaiian Cody Kessler. I've seen this play out before. He doesn't have the traits. I'm sorry, it sucks, especially because we used a 3rd-round pick on him. But I hope that Shedeur plays well, so we can continue to see him play going forward. But Stefanski's already kind of said as well that if things, yes, they have announced that Shedeur will be playing. Last I saw that was basically set in stone.
I haven't looked anywhere, but I haven't seen anything. But that's with zero research. I'll say this is I didn't watch too much of Dillon Gabriel in this game. I was passively paying attention to the game because I was still downtrodden about my game, and I just had football on in general. That being said, I did perk up as soon as I saw that Shedeur was in the game, and I started watching. I didn't think that he looked good, but I thought that he absolutely looked better than what I had seen so far from Dillon Gabriel this year. Yeah, bad stat line, but he looked better to me. I can't again, I don't think they looked good, but I felt like he looked like he was more belonging in that position. And so I absolutely, whether or not they've announced that he should start or not, I've already been saying this. I know that you've been on board with it, but from an outside perspective looking in, I have felt that the Browns need to start playing him just to know what you are moving into next year with. And you need to put something on that resume, something on the tape to start to decide, is this workable or not? Is this short-term workable? And we need to find a different long-term solution, maybe not this coming year or in the future. You need to put the guy on the field in order to know that, because practice reps don't really fucking matter at the end of the day. Those aren't going to tell you who the guy is going to be until he's out there on the field getting bullet shot at him. You don't know. And to me, he just looked more fitting to the part than Dillon has this entire season.
They won't both be on the team next year, because if the Browns draft another quarterback, which people are projecting them to do, because neither one of these guys could be the answer. But we don't know with Shedeur. It wasn't a promising start. I think he's got some traits, but obviously you see the stat line. It's fucking rough. So you're going to have Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and another rookie? There's no fucking way. One of those guys got to go. There's just not enough.
You say that, but
same situation that we had this year.
I was going to say, you say that, but you walked into this offseason with 18, just a full harem of quarterbacks out there. And you do already have the vet baked in. You got Deshaun Watson.
I just don't understand what we're doing. Like, we have to play him. Because here's the thing. Say they don't want to move on with Shedeur. If you play him and he plays well, you raise his trade value. Because there's no way that you're going to draft a new fucking quarterback and keep Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders on the team.
Dude, it is going to be funny next year when you have Ty Simpson, Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Kyler Murray in training camp. It's going to make Raw Dog Sports Offseason Edition a lot of fun to watch. I can guarantee that. Look, props to your guys' defense. I will say that Lamar Jackson now has had 2 bad games in a row. Last week was his worst game of the season. This week now became his worst game of the season. 193 yards, 14 to 25, and 2 interceptions. It's been rough sledding the past 2 weeks for Lamar Jackson, and big props to your guys' defense. Yeah, Myles Garrett phenomenal game, 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, very dominant. And that's a lot of what you guys are having to run off right now is that good defense. It'll be interesting to see. Again, I don't know whether or not Shedeur is starting. I know you said that you've seen stuff out there for it. I think that is the right move for this Browns team going forward is give Shedeur a shot, let him put stuff on tape, because as of right now, you guys are 2-8. I don't think your playoff chances are very good. You need to just start to look towards the future, look towards what you have, so that way your next head coach, potential next GM, knows whether or not this is something that they can work with, at least in the short term.
It's entirely possible. I got McCocknerd or whatever the fuck the dude's name is, and I got a false report, but I thought that I saw that Shedeur was slated to start.
Alrighty.
I fucking hope that's the case, man. That'll make this game much more fun to watch because the Raiders-Browns with Dylan Gabriel coming back from concussion protocol is going to be boring as fuck.
Yeah. But it's a potential win.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want wins at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Move up in that draft
Especially
position.
if fucking Dylan's playing.
Yeah. That'll just muddy the waters further.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the Chiefs and Broncos. Broncos are able to eke out the win here, 22-19. A much better day from Bo Nix than normal. 24 of 37, 295 yards, no touchdowns, but not a very good running day from Denver. They were just able to edge out this Kansas City Chiefs team, and Mahomes didn't look too great in it either. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And another team that doesn't really have much of a running game going for them.
Yeah, late pick, late mistake. And the Chiefs really needed to win this game. We talked about it, I believe, last week. The AFC is getting fucking dicey to make it into the playoffs right now. There are a lot of good teams. They were already sitting at 8th before they lose this week. So they are, I don't know where they're sitting at right now. 9th now.
Yeah.
So they're on the outside looking in. That's crazy.
They've got the Houston Texans ahead of them right now. Well, fuck my carcass. It's the Houston Texans, Kansas City Chiefs, and Baltimore Ravens in a 3-way tie at 5-5. So all on the outside looking in. And then from there, you got the Jaguars and the Chargers, who are kind of those flaky teams right now where you're not sure if they're going to be able to make it. But beyond that, Bills, Steelers, Colts, Patriots, and Broncos. And I would say the Ravens are the ones that are looking right down the barrel of dethroning the Steelers as number 1 in the AFC North. So interesting spot. There are some spots to get there, but Kansas City does have a bit of a slog here.
Yeah, they got a lot of work ahead of them. And the Broncos are fucking leading the AFC. Bo Nix, I mean, they keep figuring out ways. Bo has good games, bad games. He didn't really have to do a lot. They kicked a lot of field goals. They got a lot of yardage in between the 20s. I was a little disappointed with the production of RJ Harvey. I was hoping to see a lot more out of him. But listen, this was a good defensive game, and the Broncos get a dub because, listen, Pat Mahomes is not infallible. Like, there was a period of time where Brady went and they didn't make the fucking, well, they didn't go to the Super Bowl for a few years, I guess. But, like, they had a lull for a little while, and they went on another fucking streak of, like, 3 Super Bowls. So, this could be around that time. Travis Kelce's about done. Like, this team they're good, but they're not as good as people thought they were. Pat Mahomes is not this world beater right now.
I think that this Chiefs team is a good running game for being a good team again. Pure and simple. You get rid of Travis Kelce, you can find yourself into another decent tight end. They have a couple good receiving options. The one thing that this team is truly lacking is a run game. You fix that run game and you make them multiple on offense again, and it switches everything up. It's really surprising that they didn't make a harder push at the trade deadline to try to bring someone in there because I think that really could have turned things around. But for Chiefs Watch 2025, the rest of their year, they've got the Colts coming up. It's going to be a fucking tough one.
Yeah.
Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos again on Thursday night in week 17, and the Raiders to finish out the year. Raiders possibly able to play spoiler in a game that if you're a Chiefs fan, you probably feel like you're going to win. So they have a couple wins in there that are probably baked in with that Raiders and Titans game. The Chargers, we'll see what sort of team they want to be in week, what is this, 15? But Colts and Cowboys, those could be difficult ones. Then the Texans, a big-time defensive matchup. CJ Stroud probably going to be back for that one. I could see them kind of splitting the rest of the year here, which would put them right around that, 9-8 record. So an interesting one for the Chiefs. I think I've said it here before. I think this is going to be our first year without the Chiefs in the playoffs in quite a while.
Yeah. It's starting to look a lot like that. So, yay.
All right. Sunday night football. We got the Lions and Eagles in a snooze fest. Yeah. Eagles get the win 16-9 in this one. It was a rough one to watch, man. It was pretty fucking boring. Dan Campbell calling plays again, and apparently, according to reports, going to be calling plays for the rest of the year. It worked out last week. Not as much in this week. Jared Goff did not look good. He did not look comfortable in this game. I think a lot of what my Vikings did to the Lions, the Eagles took notes on that and played a pretty good defensive matchup there. Yeah, just real boring game. Look, it was an A.J. Brown game. Nothing special, only 49 yards, but he was the leading receiver for this Eagles team after having a little bit of a fit about not being as involved. But yeah, just not a very special game for this Eagles team or this Lions team. You rarely see the Lions put up single-digit points anymore. So it was a rough one for him.
Yeah, this game sucked. Jared Goff fucked Blitz's parlay because we hit the first two legs. All we needed was Jared Goff to throw 2 touchdowns. And I mean, he had plenty of opportunities to do the ball 37 times. But he had one of his worst games, man. It feels like we always get one of these Jared Goff games. Now he'll probably turn around and be great over the next few weeks because of this. But, man, that was a tough time to have a shit game because the Eagles didn't play well either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be just like when the Lions lost to the Vikings, which was probably a little bit more of an embarrassing loss. They're going up against the Giants this week, and so be a tough one there for New York.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them, but also because most of the guys I like from that team are not going to be playing, like Dart, and I didn't like Dart in the pre-draft process. Getting to see him play and getting to actually see some of the interviews and stuff that he's done. That kid's not bad. He's fucking wild. He's a maniac like Scatabo. So I don't know how long he's going to last in the NFL because the concussions they're going to catch up.
Yeah. Might be the first quarterback to wear a guarding cap in a game.
Yeah. Trent Green will tell you all about how fucking concussions will ruin your goddamn career and or life.
Yeah, him and Dan Marino, except for Marino's had a pretty decent career after football. Not Marino, Aikman. Sorry.
Was it Aikman that had?
I'm sure Marino had plenty of concussions, but Aikman, you can't tell if he's drunk or still concussed when he is calling games. So that guy is had a few knocks in the noggin, and
I thought he liked the herb, is what it seemed like.
It's very possible. All these things very similar.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We got one last game, brother. Monday night. This is what kept us in the positive. Cowboys get a win 33-16 over the Raiders, and Dak balled the fuck out. Pickens, man, that cut was crazy. I didn't know a person could cut that hard moving that fast. The Cowboys just kind of beat the shit out of them. I was texting you. I was like, they're gonna run away with this thing, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was closer there in the beginning, but also you didn't have your top 2 receivers out on that first drive. And once they got in there, it was ass whooping time. Cowboys big time win here, 33-16, which they should do against the caliber of defense that this Raiders team puts out there. And even if the Cowboys defense is porous, this Raiders offense doesn't have what's necessary to kind of put up those sorts of points against anyone right now. That was a rough one. The big story for me, I don't know if you actually saw the locker room after the game, though, for the Cowboys. Almost made me emotional, kind of seeing Schottenheimer break down and talk about Marshawn Kneeland and how the guys went out there and showed out there for their guy.
Yeah. Obviously, we talked about, that entire situation. I didn't see after in the locker room, but they were all wearing the t-shirts. And the way it started, the broadcast kind of started was it was a very emotional moment. Obviously, suicide is something that has touched our community so much that it's something that we've talked about a lot. So it's cool that they were able to do that, and I'm sure that shit's emotional. If you send that to me, I'll watch it and probably fucking cry.
Yeah, look, if anyone watching didn't watch that, hop onto the Raw Dog Sports Facebook page. It is posted on there for you to view. It's one of those kind of, I don't want to call it a feel good moment, but it's an emotional moment, something that kind of brings you back to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had the Saints and Colts both on bye this week. And so that wraps up our week 11 slate of games, but we do still have one more game to talk about here, Mike. We got our Thursday night football game coming up here in just less than 48 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting game. Bills taking on the Texans, going down to Houston. Houston, we've talked about that defense, very good, but the Bills coming off a very good game, beating a Bucs team that is pretty good, but also is hurt. Which Bills are we going to get? Are we going to get good Bills? Are we going to get bad Bills? Are they going to come out and play gangbusters? Because they're going against an exceptional defense for the Texans. And what can Davis Mills continue to show? If he doesn't have a banger game, or is this the Woody Marks breakout game? I don't know. There's a lot of different things that could happen here, man. This line is a little interesting to me. 5.5 didn't seem like it was enough considering the two teams that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. Where are you at on this?
It is a tough one because this Houston defense is so damn good. We've seen some absolute stinkers from this Bills team. One of the things I talked about last week was that the Bills feel like they need to have that running game going to be effective, and they were able to get the running game going in this last game. You're going up against a really good defense, and they're a really good rush defense. I don't know if you're going to be able to get Cook going or not in this one, and it scares me a little bit for this Bills team. We know that the Texans, their defense is going to control this. It's just whether or not that offense is going to be able to put up very many points against the Bills. And it could be the Woody Marks breakout game. If you have him in fantasy, it's probably worth considering starting him because this Bills team does give up a lot of yards on the ground. My pick for the game, though, I'm going to go with the Bills on the money line. I am too scared to drop the points here. If you had told me at the beginning of the year that I had 5.5 points on this, or dropping 5.5 for this Bills team at minus 120 odds, I probably would be considering that because I just think that much more of the Bills versus this Texans team. That being said, I don't have faith or trust right now in this Bills squad. And so while I think that they are the better team, they are more complete, and I'm a little bit more positive leaning towards this Bills offense, it's not enough for me to drop the points here. Hopefully Josh Allen can put up another game like he had last week. But it does scare me a little bit. It feels almost a little bit like a trap game where giving the points to this Texans team is doable.
Yeah. So my brother-in-law Josh is not going to like this because he said that we should pick against the Bills, but I'm also going Bills money line. I am worried that Josh Allen's going to turn the ball over. This Texans team is really fucking good on defense, man. And listen, he is prone to do that. He's obviously exceptional. 3 touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs. That's insane. But he also threw 2 picks this last week. He's been known to be a little reckless with the ball, and that Texans team is opportunistic, man. I think that the Bills are a better team, so I'm going to take them on the money line as well. But I think there's a chance they could keep this thing close because they could probably turn Josh over a little bit.
Yeah. And I'd have to go back and look, and I don't have the time to do that, but I do vaguely remember the Bills playing in Houston last year and putting up a little bit of a stinker. I think that they were barely able to eke out the win at the end of the game, but that it was a really tough one for them. And that was with a Texans offense that, while it had a bad offensive line, it is nowhere near as bad as this offensive line. And I believe that they still had a full complement of running backs there. So, something to kind of keep watch of. I am a little bit scared that this Texans team might actually walk out with the win in this one. They might not even need the points playing at home.
Ugh, that would be a terrible way to start. We have had a really good run on the
Thursday night games.
On the Thursday nights, and I think the Monday nights.
Yeah, looking back, we got week 11, 10. We fucked up on Monday night and week 9, but we got Thursday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like we've had a pretty solid run. Things turned around since week 6.
Yeah, week 6 was tough. It's all right. It's all right. We're back, baby. Let's hopefully we get a dub. I'm sure my brother-in-law will love that if the Bills get a win. But my man, I think that wraps it up for the night.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to go over before we get out of here?
No, not really. I mean, I was going to make a comment. I know it's not going to happen, but for the New York Giants, the one thing I want for them for Christmas is to somehow get John Gruden to go there, because I think that would be such a fun fucking team to watch. Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, Malik Neighbors, John Gruden, just all fucking wild men. That'd be great. And also, producer Amber wanted to make sure that we talked about Shedeur Sanders had his house broken into, $200,000 worth of stuff stolen.
Yeah, fucking scumbags.
Yeah, bunch of losers. That trend continues of players getting their stuff stolen while they're playing some football.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like, what a fucking shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, well, people, thank you for tuning in. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. I am very grateful to Evo, who comes on here multiple times a week and fucks off with me. So thank you to your wife as well for giving you that time. And with that, my man, I'm going to leave you with one last word.
Yeah, look, I don't really have a ton to say this week. So one thing I do want to continue to kind of bang and bring home, we are getting into holiday season. It is tough for some people out there. I know it's happy for a lot of people, but it's tough. And as we've been talking about people kind of taking their own lives, if you are alone this holiday season, if you're down, if you're sad, if you're having a rough time, there are people out there who are willing to talk to you, willing to listen to you. Dial 988 if necessary. But even if it's somehow just hitting us up on the socials, Mike and I will respond. We're here for you. There are people here for you. There's resources for you. Don't give up. Don't check out early.
Oh, yeah. Outrun the forever yeets. My man, thank you for that. Guys, thank you. We're going to be back. Oh, gosh. Can't do Friday, and I think I got shit Saturday. We're going to figure out sometime on Saturday to do this thing. So that's when we'll be seeing you guys next. But with that, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. See ya.